Ose shalom, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, sim shalom aleinu. Ose shalom, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, sim shalom aleinu. Oh, sorry. Yeah, lie, lie, lie. Yeah, lie, lie, lie. Kol ha-neshama te'aleh. Kol ha-neshama te'aleh. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Good afternoon. Chatima Tova, everybody. This afternoon, we're coming to you from our Ulam for a change of pace. I'm Rabbi Javier Carapan, and I am joined by Rabbi Monica Kleiman, Leslie Zucker, our technical team, and special thank you to Steve and Charles Cooper, who are reading Haftarah for us today, and to our readers and the Bow Committee for bringing us beyond our walls, and especially to our digital docents, who nobody here knows who they are because they don't show their faces, but they are helping behind the scenes for everybody at home be able to follow us. This afternoon, we will continue praying from Mishkan Hanefesh, our High Holidays Machzor. If you're joining us from Facebook Live, links to the prayer pages, PDF, and other information will be available, of course, as always, in the comment sections. If you're joining us on the virtual sanctuary, on the side, I don't know where, this one's going to be above the. I'm talking about this like I know. I've never done this. I've just never done it. So I hope it's true. Yes, it's a new year. I should try. We invite you to say hello by typing Chatima Tova and tell us where you're watching from. And for those of you who are leading prayers here, and some of you have a reading assigned, we'll ask you that you come up to this microphone here and stand. Probably try to not to walk right here in the middle. This is how we design it. So if you can, and remember not to touch the microphone.
It
Very
has to be right because I've been pointing it out. Dr. Kaplan showed me where it was, and I've been pointing it out for months, and not a single person has emailed me to say that I'm wrong. And I feel like we have very helpful congregants who would have let me know if I was pointing in the wrong direction.
You're correct. You're right. I don't know.
So it's got to be related to right. As in accurate, not
correct. Finally, if you're joining us here in person, make sure that you silence all your electronic devices. We begin together on page 325 with words from Psalm 34.
Mi ha'ish hachafetz chaim ohev yamim liroto mi ha'ish hachafetz chaim ohev yamim lirot tov netzor leshon chamera usfatecha midaber mirma sur bechavaseto bakesh shalom berotfehu mi ha'ish hachafetz chaim ohev yamim lirot tov.
We continue together in the middle of page 328. We give thanks today for a Torah of life, the way of kindness, mercy, and truth. May compassion be our source of sustenance now, as in our people's past. May our souls withstand times of crisis, and our hearts the inclination to evil. May the covenant of Abraham and Sarah strengthen our will to do what is right. May the qualities of mercy and goodness, love and forgiveness flow through our lives. And let us be strong in a perilous world. Let us open our hearts to the path of Torah. And we'll continue now with our Torah service. This afternoon we'll actually focus on the Haftorah. But let's have a little Torah service music to get us started, Leslie.
I don't know why How does Al Shlosha? Here we go. Yeah.
It's Yom Kippur
It's
afternoon.
late in the day. Thank you.
Yep.
Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Ha'olam omed. Yes, please. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Al Shlosha Devarim. Ha'olam omed. Al HaTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim. פרטים על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו.
It's my on or off?
It's really hard to tell in this room where we're sitting.
Technically not.
Ah.
Oh, now I'm on.
There you
Okay. So it is my pleasure to invite Steve and Charles Cooper to share our Yom Kippur afternoon Haftorah with us. You may find the blessing before on page 342, and they will be reading selections from the ensuing pages.
Thank you, Rabbi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nviim tovim v'ratza v'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'Moshe abdo v'Yisrael amo ובנביאי האמת והצדק.
Amen.
Page 344, the first 6 verses in Hebrew. Vayehi davar Adonai el Yonah ben Amitai lemor kum lech aninvei ha'ir hagadola ukara Aleha ki alatara tam lefanai vayakam Yonah livroach tarshisha malifnei Adonai vayired yafo vayimtza aniya ba tarshish vayiten sechara vayired ba Lavo imohem tarshisha milifnei Adonai. Adonai etil ruach gadola el hayam vayehi sahar gadol bayam veha aniya chishva lehishaveir vayiru hamalachim V'yizaku ish el Elohav vayatilu et hakelim asher v'aniya el hayam lahakel mi'alehem vayona yarad el yarkatei hasafina Vayishka v'yeradam Vayikrav Elohav Rav Hachoveyo Vayomer lo Malacha Nirdam Kum Kira El Elohecha Ulai Yitasei HaElohim Lanu V'lo Noved. And now in English, verses 7 through, if I can turn the page. And they said, each man to his companion, let us cast lots, that we might know on whose account this evil event has come to us. So they cast lots, and the lot fell on Jonah. And they said to him, tell us, you who have brought this evil upon us, what is your trade? And where have you come from? What is your country? And who are your people? And he said to them, I am a Hebrew. I revere Adonai, God of heaven, who has made sea and dry land. The men felt great fear, and they asked him, what have you done? Because the men knew he was fleeing from Adonai, for so he had told them. And they asked him, what should we do to you to bring calm to the sea around us? For the sea was growing more and more stormy. So he said to them, lift me up and hurl me into the sea, and the sea will calm down for you, for I know that this great storm came upon you because of me. And the crew rowed hard to return to the dry land, but they could not do it, for the sea was raging more and more fiercely around them. And they called out to Adonai, saying, please, Adonai, please do not let us perish because of the life of this man, and do not hold us guilty of shedding innocent blood. For you, Adonai, that which you desired, you have brought about. And they lifted Jonah and hurled him into the sea. Then the sea stopped raging. The men revered Adonai, great was their reverence. So they offered to Adonai a sacrifice and made vows. Now Jonah chapter 2, page 345. And Adonai provided a great fish to swallow Jonah. And Jonah was in the belly of the fish 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah prayed to Adonai his God from the belly of the fish. Continued on page 347. Verse 11. Adonai commanded the fish, and it spewed Jonah out upon the dry land. Now Jonah chapter 3.
Page 347, Jonah chapter 3. Vayhi davar Adonai el Yonah shenit lemor kum lech el Nineveh ha'ir ha'gadolah ukrai leha et hakriah asher anochi dover elecha v'yakam Yonah v'yilech el Nineveh kidvar Adonai Nineveh hayta ergola lelohim mahalach shaloshet yamim vayechel Yonah lavo va'ir mahalach yom echad vayikra vayomar od arba'im yom v'Nineveh nechapachet. In the English, it's page 347, number 5. People of Nineveh trusted in God, and they proclaimed a fast. And they put on sackcloth from the richest to the poorest. And word reached the king of Nineveh, and he got up from his throne, took off his robe, put on sackcloth, and sat in ashes. And he cried out and said in Nineveh, by decree of the king and his nobles, no person or beast, of flock or herd, shall taste anything. They shall not graze, and they shall not drink water. They shall be covered with sackcloth, person and beast, and shall call loudly to God. Let all turn back from their evil ways and from the violence which is in their hands. Who knows, God may turn and relent, turn back from the heat of anger, so that we do not perish. God saw what they did, how they were turning back from their evil ways, and God relented from the evil planned for them and did not carry it out. We're going to continue on Micah on page 350. Mi'el kamocha nosei avon v'over al pesha lisherit nachalato lo hezik le'adapo ki chafetz chesed hu Yashu Yacharamat Menu Yechbos Avotenu V'tashlich Bim Solot Yom Kol Atotam Titain emet li'Yaakov, chesed l'Avraham, Ashini shavata l'avotenu, mimei-kedem. You can follow the blessings on page 351. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, sur kol olamim, tzadik bechol hadarot, ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer v'yoseh, ha'mdaber m'kayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah v'al vodah v'al neviim v'al yom ha'kippurim hazeh, שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו למחילה ולכסילתה ולכפרה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד ודבריך אמת וקיים לעד ברוך אתה אדוני מלך מחולל וסולח לאבותינו ולבנות אמות בית ישראל ומעביר את שמותינו בכל יום שנה ושנה מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל ביום הכיפורים אמן. Thanks.
We'll continue with a little end of our Torah service music with Eitz Chaim, which you can find on page 353.
Eitz Chaim
lama chazikim ba betomechea mevushar nerachea darcheinon v'chol netivotea Shalom Ashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh yameinu kekedem. Service will continue on page 356. We'll begin the Amidah standing in just a moment. Some of you have readings, and we're all going to be standing at the same time. So this is slightly different because what we're trying today on this particular Amidah is to use a lot of the English interpretations on the other side. So it's going to be slightly different. It won't be an Amidah that you're used to just go through the whole thing without. We're going to pause after a few of the prayers, have a reading, then do another piece. These are things so you know that you're familiar with, but they're not going to be in the order that you are. I just want to let everybody know at home as well that we're going to have some readers, and so we need to give them a chance to come to the microphone and do all that. We begin together on 356 with Adonai Sefatai.
Adonai Sefatai tiftach
Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. We continue then with a reading on page 357. 357.
Said the Holy One to Israel, I ask you to pray in the synagogue of your city. But if you cannot pray in the synagogue, pray outdoors in an open field. And if you cannot pray in the field, pray in the shelter of your home. And if you cannot pray in your home, pray in the dark on your bed. And if you cannot pray on your bed, meditate in your heart without words.
Page 360.
Zochreinu
lechaim, Melech חפץ בחיים, בכותבנו בספר החיים, למענך אלוהים חיים. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. Amen. We continue with the reading at the top of page 361.
Kindness of heart and hand, the blessing of Chesed. Zocher Chasdei Avot V'imahot. Remember the Chesed of those who came before us, a desert tent furled on either side, the home of Abraham and Sarah, wide open to welcome travelers from all directions, an open hand to offer bread to strangers in need, an open heart, a bold voice, lifted up in defense of others.
Page 364, the second paragraph. חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. Page 365, the reading at the top, Gvurot.
Atagi bor leolam Adonai. You are the power that never diminishes and never subsides. From you we draw Gevurah, our inner core of strength. Strength to rise at dawn when hungry babies cry. Strength to rise before the aged parent to bring care and dignity. Strength to give patience to a child whose needs overwhelm us. Strength to hold and heal a spouse in pain, to give love without losing hope. Strength to survive a job that is stressful and unrewarding. Strength to endure months or years without work and purpose. Strength to face crises and the strength to surmount everyday hurdles. Strength to keep practicing and exercising, trying mighty in spite of failure. Strength to do what is called for, even when it is hard. Strength to do what is right, especially when others do not.
Page 368.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tsevaot, Melech haaretz kevodo.
We continue on page 369. You may be seated.
Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, let us sanctify your name in this world, as celestial song sanctifies your name on high. Asked the Chofetz Chaim, is it not presumptuous for us to compare ourselves to angels? One might think it is like a pauper dressed in rags who appears before the king, pretending to be one of the royal ministers. He answered, in truth, we have as much right to stand before God as all the angels. For it is written in the Torah, God blew into Adam's nostrils the breath of life, and he became a living soul. Holy One, you breathed into the human soul something of yourself. A spark of you is within us, yearning to rise up and unite with its source. And so we hunger for holiness. We long to lift up mundane acts and make them beautiful. Let us reimagine our tables as holy altars, where each day we offer up our best. Through blessings and mindful eating, thoughtful conversation, and care for one another, let us make marriages that are truly kiddushin, holy partnerships of intimacy, faithfulness, and love. Let us sanctify time, preserve and remember Shabbat, and keep the holy days of our people. In a world that can be cruel, let us create holy communities, oases of compassion. The Torah teaches, "Do not profane my holy name, that I may be sanctified amongst the people of Israel." We sanctify your name in this world when we bring your spirit into all our deeds.
We continue page 370. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש. בשבחך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. כי אל מלך גדול, כי אל מלך גדול, וקדוש אתה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש.
We continue on the top of page 373.
The gift of awe. Come to the woods, for here is rest. There is no repose like that of the deep green woods. The clearest way into the universe is through a forest wilderness. The winds will blow their own freshness into you, and the storms their energy, while cares will drop off like autumn leaves. As age comes on, one source of enjoyment after another is closed, but nature's sources never fail. The poetry of earth is never dead. Study nature, love nature, stay close to nature. It will never fail you. Nature is the living, visible garment of God. Nature never hurries. Atom by atom, little by little, she achieves her work. What seems to be a stone is a drama. The joy of looking and comprehending is nature's most beautiful gift. When I behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, replete is the world with a spiritual radiance, replete with sublime and marvelous secrets, but a small hand held against the eye hides it all. The heavens declare the glory of God. The sky proclaims God's handiwork. What we lack is not a will to believe, but a will to wonder.
Thank you. Page 379.
the gathering, past the gates of the city, with the cattle, the wind, between the mountains and the sea, with the tent, with the faces, you and everywhere like air, they called you by different names, none of them yours, all of them yours. You knew the hunger of open beaks, high in the cedar. You watched the infant goats sway to their feet, you and everywhere, like air. I called you by different names, all of them yours, none of them yours. A gust of wind parted the grass. There was the bread I ate, the heart of the bread of the heart.
Baruch atah Adonai HaMelech HaKadosh.
Page 385.
Rabbi Shimon taught, "Do not regard yourself as worthless. Harachaman, source of mercy, teach me the art of a compassionate gaze. Show me how to be patient and forgiving, kind and encouraging, loving and understanding, generous in spirit when faced with imperfection. Help me to extend love and compassion to my own imperfect soul. Help me to embrace these truths. I share the lot of all human beings. I'm not alone in my failings. Whatever I have done, I am loved and valued by you, worthy of love, capable of goodness. Do not let me slip into self-loathing or despair. As I ask for your remembrance, I commit myself to remember. Self-compassion is not self-indulgence. It is not an excuse for bad behavior or an impediment to my growth. Harsh self-rebuke will not make me more gentle with others. On this holy day, I hold fast to these words of Torah. Be loving to your neighbor as you are to yourself.
Page 387.
A prayer for goodness and blessing. Oneness at the heart of all life. May I let go of the pettiness within myself and transform myself into a conduit of love. Let me be healing and comfort for those who are tired and ill. Let me be nourishment for the hungry. Let me be a shield for those who are helpless and afraid. Let me be a lamp to those who dwell in the dark. May I be a haven for the troubled, a guide for the lost, a voice for those who cannot speak. Let all those I meet come away feeling better for having encountered me.
We continue together on the top of page 390. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chalkeinu b'toratecha, sheba'enu mituvecha, v'samchenu b'yeshuecha. God who is ours and God of our fathers and mothers, lead us to holiness through your mitzvot, and may each of us find a portion of the Torah that is ours. You bestow such goodness. Teach us to be satisfied and to know the joy of your salvation. Make our hearts pure so that we may be of true service to you. For you are the forgiver of Israel. In every generation, granting pardon to the tribes of Yeshurun. We have no God of forgiveness and pardon, but you alone. Baruch atah Adonai, Melech mochel v'soleach la'avotenu, la'avonot amo beit Yisrael, uma'avir ashmotenu b'chol shana v'shana, Melech el kol haaretz, mekadesh Yisrael, v'yom HaKippurim. Ritzay is on page 394.
Etzei Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael utefilata be'ahava tekabel utehin ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael Yisrael Amecha קרוב לכל קורב פני עבדיך וכוננו שפוך רוחך עלינו ותחזינה עינינו לשובך לציון ברחמים ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון
Page 399.
Hoda'ah, the blessing of gratitude. Modim anachnu lach. For miracles and wonders are with us always, and goodness is woven throughout our lives. Our sages teach that miracles are astounding acts. They shake us to the core. And wonders, these, they say, are the miracles of which we are unaware, well hidden in the laws of nature. Great wonders reside, the rhythm of our breathing, the rise and fall of tides, the wing beats of a hummingbird, the choreography of bees, the cycles of the heavens, the seasons of the sky, and sunlight on leaves transmuted into energy. How wondrously fixed and predictable. Migration of birds, circulation of blood, how utterly extraordinary is the ordinary. But goodness, is it with us always? Can we feel it even now? Consider this, the eye is narrow in its gaze, for at this very moment some lives are bathed in miracle. A newborn child in the arms of parents who are past the point of hope. The happiness of improbable love after many years alone. Recovery from surgery, the easing of grief. Food for the hungry, rain after drought. The fierce light of peace, war-darkened lands. May I look up from my dark places and be glad. Somewhere, even now, wondrous goodness blossoms forth.
Page 406.
שים שלום, טובה וברכה. שים שלום, טובה tova uveracha. Sim shalom tova uveracha. Sim shalom tova uveracha. Chen v'chesed, chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael amecha. Sim shalom tova uveracha. Sim shalom tova uveracha.
Page 407.
Sim shalom, tova uvracha, hein v'hesed v'rachamim. Let there be peace, grant goodness and blessing, grace, constancy, and compassion. Rabbi Joshua ben Levi taught, great is peace, peace is to the world as leaven is to dough. And thus we learn, peace is not passivity, a state of restful inertia. Peace is the fermenting energy, the source of creative and expansive growth. When there is peace in the world, human talents may blossom and all are enriched. When there is peace in a family, all members may grow to fulfill their potential. When there is peace in our soul, we are free to express all the gifts within us.
Yes. We take a moment now for our own silent thoughts and prayers. You may use the words on pages 408 through 410, or that which you are carrying in your own heart this Yom Kippur afternoon. We will come back together on page 412.
Rechem Adonai al yireav, ki higvo hashamayim al haaretz, gavar chasdo al yireav, kerachemav al banim. Rechem Adonai al yireav, ki chigvo hashamayim al haaretz, gavar chasdo al yireav.
We continue on page 413, the reading at the top.
I don't want to beg forgiveness or seek absolution for poor petitioner before the throne. If a power follows through the universe, if some force or higher consciousness infuses all of life, it does not smite misdeeds. Said Elijah, the heretic rabbi, there is no justice, there is no judge. No one to hear my confession, no one will grant me mercy, and no one will see my fate. Still the words of prayer are in my mouth. Still the wrongs I committed are in my mind. And still this yearning in my heart to make things right, breathe free, be clean again.
Thank you. We continue on page 414 with Ki Anu Amecha.
Ki anu amecha ve'ata Eloheinu, anu avadecha ve'ata Adoneinu, anu keralecha ve'ata Chelkeinu. I'm sorry.
We continue the reading on page 425.
Hakarat Hatov. What gives us strength to pursue goodness? Awareness of the good that is around us, decent, generous acts that remind us of what is possible here and now in this world of moral ambiguity. So our sages taught, one mitzvah inspires another. Thus we acknowledge and celebrate those who do their best on the job, whatever their level or pay, and those who run an honest business, who don't cut corners, falsify, or lie, those who labor in obscurity to help others or advance the frontiers of truth, those who add beauty to the world through the arts or through unselfish deeds, patient teachers who see the potential in shy or difficult students, students who focus on learning, not just good marks, and earn their grades fairly without cheating, athletes who exemplify good sportsmanship and self-discipline, all those who use their wealth to benefit society and the greater good, those in high places who resist the corruption of power, whistleblowers alert to malfeasance who bravely sound the alarm, public servants who do the people's business with integrity, politicians who place conscience above popularity, those who travel far from home to defend our country from foes, those who keep our communities safe, who run into fires to save lives, parents who care selflessly for ill or troubled children, children who give time and love to frail and aging parents, loving spouses who remain faithful, loyal friends who stand fast in times of trouble. May their mitzvot inspire our own. May we find the strength to emulate their honor. Let us take joy in remembering that goodness still abides.
We continue on page 427. I invite you, if you're able to stand. Avinu Malkeinu, we join generations of Jews who have sought you compassion. Shechinat Imenu, nurturing presence. Mekor Binateinu, source of insight and understanding. Tzur Chayenu, unweathered stone, steadying strength beneath us. Yedid Nafshoteinu, intimate soul compassion. Choneinu Va'aneinu, we open to you in self-examination. Grace us and answer us. Be present with us, inspire us, accompany us, assure us we are not alone. Ki ein banu ma'asim, we approach you empty-handed. Our accomplishments set aside. Rather than defend ourselves, we confess we are broken-hearted on our failures, and our world remains unimpaired. Aseh imanu tzedakah v'chesed, be our city as we uphold our errors. Be our example, hold us with abundant love. Turn us to face the world with justice and compassion. Veho shi'enu, save us. Join our strength to yours as we offer ourselves fully to life ahead. Continue, page 428. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu מלכנו, חוננו בנינו, כי אין בנו מעשים. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, והושיענו. אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו. אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו, כי אין בנו מעשים. Page 432, עלינו לשבח.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד. This is the postlude, but it's not gonna be very long, 'cause we need you to move along so that we can change the setups. Went a little longer than I thought we would, and the sound guys really need to do some good, so just be careful and don't get knocked over while we change the stuff around.
That was the best postlude. Thank you. Thank you. Chatima Tova. We'll see you in about 25 minutes.
Thank you.